What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bring Me Joy-Con. So today I just wanted to show you guys my Nintendo Switch collection so far. I do plan to, of course, continue to grow this collection, but I saw Wartrain doing his collection is pretty impressive. I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to check that out. Mine is not near as big as his, but I got some really cool games, and I just wanted to show you guys that. So, let me just turn this camera around here. Okay, guys, so I apologize if my hands are shaky. My hands have always been shaky. I'm not that old. I don't know why my hands shake so much, but they do. My dad always used to say, "You're shaking like a dog shitting barbed wire," and that's kind of something that just stuck with me. It always made me laugh when I was a kid. So, anyway, Aladdin and Lion King, I was so excited when they announced this re-release of these Super Nintendo and Genesis games. And you can actually choose which version you want to play when you load that game up. Some of my favorite games from when I was a kid. So I was just really hyped to finally get my hands on that and be able to play it on a modern console. And if you don't know, Aladdin's a little easier than Lion King, but the Lion King is considered like one of the hardest games of its time, the Super Nintendo Genesis era. And I started it up recently and was playing it, and I was reminded of that very quickly. Luckily, they added a rewind button in there, so that's pretty cool. You can keep trying it over and over and just rewind yourself because it's an extremely hard game, but one of my favorites from when I was a kid. So, Valiant Hearts and Child of Light. Now, Child of Light is pretty cool. I do enjoy that game. Valiant Hearts I prefer because of its art style and because of the storyline that occurs in it. And I got this at Best Buy. I think it was a Best Buy exclusive, if I remember right. And they're both on one cartridge in there. And just a fantastic little collection. I think it was only like $25 or $30, so I couldn't pass it up when I grabbed it. It'll do too. The first one just got released on the eShop. Now, it does not have a physical just yet. I was hoping they would release a physical for the first game, but we will see. I have not played a ton of this, maybe like 5 or 6 hours, but not because it's a bad game, just because I kind of got sidetracked with something else, like Breath of the Wild or something shortly after I got this. This game is like a Zelda clone. It's top-down view, there's dungeons. It's a very good game, and I enjoy that one. And really anything that Nicalis makes or produces or publishes, I really usually enjoy. So whenever I see that right there, I definitely look into it and see if it's something I am interested in. Kirby Star Allies. This game was really easy. I haven't revisited it yet, but I heard that they did a bit of a patch, and there's like a harder mode you can play in. Now, it is a fun party game if you got like 2 or 3 or even 4 people at your house to play together. And my son really enjoys this game, but like I said, it's just really easy. So maybe I'll revisit that one later on. Toy Explorer Edition. This I bought secondhand from someone on Facebook for like $3. Their Walmart was marking them all down super cheap, and they passed along the savings, and I appreciated that. It's definitely a kid's game, but it's kind of a cool platformer, and you fly this airship around to these different worlds and explore those different worlds and collect coins, and it's a neat game, but I mean, I wouldn't ever pay more than like $5 for it, really. Thimbleweed Park. This is Limited Run's first game, I believe. Let's see. Does it say? Yeah, 001. So this was their first Switch game that they released. Very cool point-and-click game. I did a review on this, so I'll put a link in for that and maybe a card up in the corner so that you can click on it and watch the review if you would like to. I discovered Limited Run just before this came out, and I think I picked up one PS4 game, and then they said, hey, we're doing Switch games, and I jumped on it because I knew that the first release from them would be hard to find. And they're seriously, by the time the Switch is done, they're gonna have hundreds, if not over 1,000 releases, probably. So I knew this would just be really difficult to find later. It's a very fun game, also, and I normally don't leave anything in package. I don't believe in buying games that you're not gonna play. So I definitely opened that up and started playing right away and enjoyed that. The Crash Trilogy, I was very, very excited when this got announced because it was on PS4 and Xbox One, and these are some of my favorite games from when I was a kid, back in my PS1 days. I think I was 7 or 8 when the PS1 came out, and of course Crash 1 and 2 I played quite a bit of. Crash 3 is a very good game as well, and the graphics are just a tad better because it came out a little bit later after the first two. And just really great games, and this was all three of the games built from the ground up again with better graphics. It's not just a graphic upscale. So a lot of fun, very fantastic, big part of my childhood, and I will always buy this when I see it. Actually, I'm surprised I don't have the PS4 copy yet because I believe the graphics are a bit better, and I think I would enjoy playing on that PlayStation controller again. I do have an adapter to make my PS4 controllers work on the Switch, and it actually works very nicely, so maybe I'll just try that instead. Lego Worlds. Think of this like sort of like the Minecraft of Lego games. Just open world building. You can pretty much build anything and everything. You can copy things that you've built and save them so that you can have a quick button to rebuild them again. You don't have to spend all that time building them. This is one of the coolest things probably is the co-op mode in this. I really enjoy that. Me and my son play it together pretty often, and it's just an all-around very cool game. There is a storyline of sorts where you have to collect these gold bricks, and then they allow you to progress to the next world, and there's all kinds of different worlds in this that you go to. There's like a pirate-themed one and a Christmas-themed one, and it's just a really fun game. I think I bought that secondhand on Facebook as well for like $15, so I didn't want to pass that up. Mario Rabbids. I bought this. This was the first Switch game that I purchased. When my wife got me the Switch 2 years ago for Christmas, she got Mario Kart because she knew I would love it, and that was a good choice because Mario Kart's a blast. We play that as a family all the time. One of the only games we play as a family. But I also got some money for Christmas. I think it was like $50, and I wanted to get another game I would enjoy, and I knew at some point I was going to own Mario Odyssey, and so I wanted to get something that was kind of out of the ordinary for me, something that I knew I wouldn't necessarily have for sure. And at the time, there were only like 5 physical Switch games at my local store, and this one caught my eye. The Switch was still pretty young at that point, only about a year old, so there wasn't a lot of option at that point. Everybody wasn't on the Switch bandwagon just yet, and I really enjoyed this. It's a lot like Advanced Wars. It's just turn-based fighting, and you can up your defense and attack each other, and you can unlock new weapons. And it's got a cute little storyline with a bunch of different older game references and stuff like that. And it's just really fun. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. This game is very hard. It's known to be hard. Everybody knows it's very difficult. My brother got me this for my birthday because I didn't have a lot of games yet. because my birthday was just a few months after Christmas, and so I only had 2 Switch games. So I believe this was the 3rd Switch game I got, and that was really nice of him to send me a game for my Switch when I didn't have a lot to play. So that was cool. Great game. Another Nicholas game. This game's fantastic. It's gotten unofficial homebrew ports on all kinds of different systems, including the Dreamcast, which I have played, but this version is probably my favorite. I know it was on PC. I believe, if I remember correctly, one guy made this entire game, and it was just like a homebrew game for a long time. And I think this might be the first official release on a system, in fact. I'm assuming it's on the PS4 as well. I have not checked, but this game's fantastic. It has a very original Nintendo feel to it. The music especially really reminds me of an NES game, and I just really enjoy that style of game. Very 8-bit like side-scroller, and you get guns, and it's just a really great game. It's very charming, has a cute story, and it's just a really, really fun game. And also, I don't actually keep the cartridges in here, but I'm trying to open this to show you. This one comes with some goodies. That's like a music CD, and there's an actual manual in there, which you guys know most Switch games do not include. But manual is very cool. There's all sorts of stuff in there. And then there is also, sorry, one second. There's also this, which I have not looked at in a long time. Yeah, you can't even see through it. That's a pin, or like a key, feels like a keychain. I'm never going to use that, so I'm just going to keep it in the box and for storage. And let me set that down for a second. So, that's really cool. I like when games have extra goodies like that, and the Nicholas games actually normally do. So I guess I missed an opportunity to show you something here. It'll do. We can assume this one does as well. Yeah, that one has a book, an instruction manual. So that's pretty cool. There's no other goodies with it, really. Oh, yeah, I guess there is. Okay. This is some sort of map from It'll Do Too. So, I appreciate stuff like that. I really like, I'm glad that Nintendo put these little plastic deals in there, even if they weren't going to make manuals themselves. It's cool that they included those in those cases. I appreciate that. On to Mario Kart 8. This game's fantastic. Everybody loves Mario Kart. It is the best-selling Switch game to date, at like 19 million copies, so that's very impressive. Fantastic game, but it is a port from the Wii U with a tiny bit of content added, some characters and stuff, maybe a couple of tracks. So we're waiting for Mario Kart 9 because that will really take advantage of the Switch hardware. So yeah. Donkey Kong Country. Anytime there's a Donkey Kong Country, I have to buy it, of course. Fantastic. I grew up with the original 3 on the Super Nintendo, so absolutely love this game. It's very hard. It's one of those games that really challenges you on the Switch, which a lot of Nintendo Switch games are designed to be kid-friendly, so they're not a challenge. So, that's fantastic. Sonic Mania, I actually picked this up because this is not the Plus version. And I saw they were physically going to release this, and I thought it was odd that they would remove the Plus from it and physically release just this. The Plus part of it, I believe, was just a download, so I am curious. I'm probably going to do another video and check out, because I do have both versions. I have the Sonic Mania Plus and this version. And I'm curious if it will show as a separate game on my Nintendo Switch, or if it'll just recognize the cartridge and pop up the Plus version, because I do have the Plus DLC on there. So, yeah, I'm very curious about that, so I'll probably open that. Assassin's Creed 3, I have not opened this yet, just because I have not had a chance. I don't have a ton of time to play. I've got maybe an hour and a half a day to play Switch, and then usually I use it to make more videos, record content for whatever video I'm doing the next day. So when I get some time, I will definitely open this and play it. Here's another copy of it, because currently we're doing a giveaway. I'll put a link in the description for that as well. Because we hit 200 subscribers so quickly, I was excited, and I thought I would give you guys something. So, be giving away one of those. Monster Boy. I played Wonder Boy on the Genesis when I was a kid, and this is sort of a sequel to that, and so I thought that was very cool. They actually released Wonder Boy, a couple of them, on the Switch, and I haven't picked them up yet, but they would go nicely right next to this guy. Fantastic side-scroller. I reviewed this game as well. In fact, I've reviewed most of these games on my channel, so be sure to check those out if you have any interest in any of these games. And actually, I made a playlist with all the game reviews in it, so that it'll be easier to find if you just click my playlist and then look there. Skyrim, I don't think I have to say a lot about this. Everybody loves Skyrim. Like, literally everybody. It's one of the greatest games ever. The graphics are slightly worse on the Switch, but it makes it run nicely and on the go. And I've sort of recently learned that I really like playing in handheld mode. I just really enjoy the... I don't know, it sort of helps you get into the game a little more, I feel, when you're not 6 feet from your TV, when you're up close playing and you can kind of shut out the world and shut everybody else out. It's a more, I don't know, I mean, intimate's not the word for it, but it's a more intimate experience. I don't know what other word to use for it. That sounds kind of weird, but you know what I mean. So, South Park, Fractured Butthole. I got this on Black Friday last year. It was like $17, normally $50, so I had to grab it. This game's fantastic. Don't let your kids play it. I mean, whatever. Do whatever you want to. But my kid won't play this until he's quite a bit older. Great game, though. And I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's very funny. And the fighting is actually pretty good in that one. I really like the fighting style in it. So, Mercenary Kings Reloaded Edition. This is another limited run games. Oh, that's number 2. I didn't even realize this was the second release from them. This game is a side-scroller. I thought I would like this more. Oh, and I've got a card in there. And a manual, and some limited run points. I didn't even know, I didn't know I had a card in there. So, I've actually, since, more recently gotten a binder to put my cards in. Not that I'm gonna get, like, really into the collecting, but super rare games and limited run games always include these cards in here, and then they've got variations of them. Like, if you get a gold one, it's, like, special, harder to get or whatever. So, I thought that was kind of cool, and I just needed somewhere to put that stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to get super into collecting, but over the years I've acquired some Pokemon cards, even though I'm not a Pokemon person, and I've got those cards, and I've got these really old Disney cards. I don't know how old they are, but I've had them since I was a little kid, and they've kind of just went from drawer to drawer and box to box, and I just thought it'd be cool to have somewhere to put that kind of stuff. So... yeah, great. I won't say great game. I'll say fun game, and for the price, decent. I thought I was going to like this a lot more than I did. Maybe I'll give it another try, but my first experience with it wasn't great. It really didn't suck me in very much. So, Mario Party. I did a review on this. It's a great game. It's fun. It's not, I won't say it's as great as the old ones. I'll say it's better than the Wii games and worse than the N64 and GameCube games, in my opinion. But it is fun to be able to have a Mario Party title on the Nintendo Switch. So either way, it's decent. Super Mario Odyssey, possibly like top 3 best Switch games ever. I was really hesitant to like this when I first got it because I'm a longtime Mario fan and I grew up with all the original side-scrollers and then Mario 64, which when I was like 9 years old just blew my socks off. I could not believe that game. Then Mario Sunshine, possibly one of my favorite Mario games, was after that. And so I was really hesitant with this whole hat-throwing thing. At first it felt very weird to me, but as I played the game, I just fell more and more in love with it, and this is maybe one of my favorite games now, up there with Mario Sunshine. Fantastic. The worlds being so massive, and I really like how the worlds are really huge, but it doesn't feel like it takes you all day to get from one point to another, and they did a really good job with that. I really like that. So, Crystal Crisis. This is another Nicalis game, but they actually, I believe Nicalis actually made this game. This is very much like a Tetris-style game with all the characters that they have used in a bunch of their releases, games, characters they own, characters that they've published that they don't maybe necessarily own, but fantastic game nonetheless. And I like that it comes with this cool box, and there's actually a keychain puzzle piece in there. Let me set that down for 1 second. If I remember right, this is pretty hard to get back in the box, so there we go. That is a keychain block thing, and like one of the pieces from the game. So I probably won't open that. I don't really like mess with stuff like that. I'm never gonna like do anything with it, but it is cool to have. So I like that. And that's all that's in there, is just the case and the piece there. The game also has a manual inside, but I mean, it's nothing fancy. So, Golf Story. This game, to me, is possibly the most underrated Switch game there is. I absolutely love this game. It's fantastic. It looks like a 16-bit game. It's like a top-down RPG centered around golfing. This is Limited Run's 15th release. This is the Limited Run cover, so I pre-ordered this, and it came. This is not the Best Buy release that has a different cover on the front. That was kind of controversial when they did this, because Limited Run put up these pre-orders and said, we're releasing this game, you won't be able to get it anywhere else. And then, for whatever reason, they made a deal with Best Buy and sold more copies. And people were kind of upset about that, collectors especially, because they were told that it would be an exclusive. But either way, this game is fantastic, and I really enjoy it. And I highly recommend getting this. Not even physically, just buy it digitally and play it. It's just a really great game, and it's one of my favorite Switch games ever, and I think it always will be. Super Mario Maker 2. I mean, what can I say about this game? It's incredible. They added slopes. They took the original game and they added slopes, and it was a home run. And of course, there's other things added, but that was the biggest thing that fans were asking for, was for them to add slopes in the game. You even showcase it right on the cover, because it's a big deal. So, this game's awesome. I live stream it from time to time. I try to do it once a week if I can. Wonderful game. Probably do some live streaming this week, in fact. Lega Ninjago. I have not played this yet, so I cannot tell you really anything about it, but my local store had it marked down. I think they were just trying to make room for new games, and I got a smoking deal on it, and it looked interesting enough, and I enjoyed Lego Worlds, so I said, hey, I'm gonna grab that. So I think I paid like $8 for it. NBA 2K18, I wasn't impressed with this game. It's not really a great game. The 2K series used to be fantastic when I was a kid. When I got NFL 2K, NBA 2K on the Sega Dreamcast, those were really top-notch games, and I feel like the 2K series has kind of gone downhill quite a bit, and it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't really suck me in. It's not fun to play. If they did an NFL 2K series again, I would consider getting it, but I believe they stopped that like back at the end of the Xbox life, doing the NFL series. So, like I said, this game's not that great, but it was super cheap, and I was curious about it, so I picked it up. And if they do an NFL series again, I will probably grab one just to see if it got any better. Penny Punching Princess. This game's pretty fun, but it's not $30 fun like I paid for it. I think this was a Target exclusive, but I'm not positive on that. I know none of my stores locally had it, and so when we were like an hour away from where we live, I snagged it from Target for $30. Kind of disappointed I paid so much for it, but it is cool to have the physical. It's a neat game, but it's not the best game. So if you can get it for like $15 or $20, it might be worth checking out, but don't pay $30 like I did. Spyro Reignited. I had to get this. Like I said, PS1 was a pretty big part of my childhood, and the Spyro games, of course, were there. These were fully remade from the ground up, just like the Crash Bandicoot games. I would say this is even probably better done. Not that Crash was bad at all, but the voice acting in this, they got Tom Kenny, the guy that does SpongeBob's voice, and I believe he was the original voice for Spyro back in the PS1 days, but I don't know that for a fact. But it's just really well done. The animation and the cutscenes, I think, are very notable in this, because they've redone all those cutscenes and everything. I mean, they redid the entire game, but it's just fantastic. I really enjoy that, and I hope to get more PS1 games on the Switch like that in the full remake form. I really like that. Minecraft, I have not played. I played Minecraft a bit, like back in the 360 days. I actually won this at a work function, and I was happy to take it home. I haven't gotten into it yet, but at some point I'm going to, because I'm probably going to have to review that for the channel. So, looking forward to that. I didn't tell my son about this game because I don't want him to get all hooked on Minecraft like some kids do and obsess over it. And we've got all these to play, so yeah, I don't. Maybe someday, but I'm not going to tell him we have that for a while. Breath of the Wild, to me, was a little odd because they went away from the original style of having dungeons. Every Zelda game ever had dungeons, and this one did not. But that doesn't take away from it, and I feel like a lot of people in the beginning were like, people that were longtime fans were like, hey, this game is different and weird. It's actually a really fantastic game, but you have to come at it not from that point of view. You've got to come at it like, hey, there's this game I've never played before, I'm going to see what it's like. Not, here's a Zelda game, it's going to be as good as the old ones. Because actually, it's might even be considered better than the old ones to some people. But in my opinion, every Zelda game is worth having, and they've never disappointed me before. I got really, really into this for a couple weeks, and I played it like crazy, and I just really like the whole survival aspect of it. You gotta make food, and there's all these enemies, and and you can buy a house, and the open world without the loading screens is probably one of the coolest accomplishments I've ever seen. This massive, massive open world, and as long as you don't go like into any like they're not dungeons, but they're the trials. As long as you don't go into those trials, there's no loading screens. You could run across the map forever and never have to stop and wait for a loading screen. So I just was really impressed by that, and it's so colorful. It's a wonderful game. Smash Bros. Ultimate, this did not disappoint. They did a lot of hype going up to this, and I was just really amazed with it. I really enjoy that. I'm sure most of you have played it. It's a lot like the GameCube one, which is what the fans wanted. So, Crash Team Racing. This game's fantastic. I love it. They just combined all the old ones and rebuilt it from the ground up, and it's beautiful, just like Spyro, just like Crash Bandicoot. Awesome game, harder than Mario Kart in my opinion, but if you're really into competitive racing, that's the one to play versus Mario Kart. It's just better. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, I just recently reviewed this and played it live a little bit. It's amazing. It's one of the best side-scrollers on the Switch, and they really redeemed themselves in doing this, and I really appreciated that, and I can't wait to see what they've got coming up next, because they did such a fantastic job with this game. Recently played Dead Cells. I picked this up when I picked this up. This game's awesome. I got super into it, super hooked on it, and it's just a side-scroller where you've got all your different weapons, your swords and stuff, and you just run through and destroy stuff, and I like that there's not a lot of plot or a lot of storyline. It's a game you can just pick up and play. There's that Sonic Mania Plus I talked about that I will probably do in another video. This is pretty cool. It's got like an art book. So anyway, I ran out of space on my phone and my video stopped. There's the art book I was trying to show you. Pretty cool. It's got... Try to keep it in good shape so I don't really open it very often, but also, like I said, I'm not really somebody who like digs into all these little extras. They're just cool to have. So Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2. I'm pretty disappointed with this because the Legacy Collection 1 is on the cartridge and 2 was a download code. And this is really disappointing. It includes game card for Mega Man Legacy Collection and a download code for Legacy Collection 2. That really sucked because, you know, you want the entire game on the cartridge, especially for future use when Nintendo stops supporting the Switch, 20 years from now. And then if you didn't have that second one installed at the time or whatever, you can never get it back. And that's disappointing, especially because The Witcher 3 fits on the cartridge. And how absurd that they couldn't get this on there. But a game like The Witcher 3, probably the most ambitious Switch port there is. It just makes no sense to me. Last but not least, Luigi's Mansion 3. This game, I wasn't really super into the first and second, but honestly, I never really gave them a try. And of course, I promised my son months ago that we would get this. We picked it up on Halloween, and we have not stopped playing it since. This game is absolutely fantastic, and I feel like the quality and time they put into this game really made Luigi's Mansion 3 it's turning the Luigi's Mansion franchise into like a top-rated Nintendo game like Mario Odyssey or like Breath of the Wild. It's absolutely massive. I didn't even count all the floors, but I think there's roughly 25. There might even be 30. And you go through the mansion, you suck up ghosts, you have this cool plunger you can use to shoot at things, and then suck the end of the plunger with your vacuum, and like tear stuff, like tear pictures off the walls or tear mirrors down and stuff. And every time you complete a floor and defeat the boss, you get another button for the elevator, and that's how you progress through the game. You have to find all the elevator buttons to get to each floor, so when you find the 5 button, then you can get to the 5th floor. And it's just a massive game, and I'm just really impressed by it, and the graphics and everything. It just looks fantastic, and it's a lot of fun, and it was hard for me even to stop playing to make this video, to be honest with you. I love this game. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think, if you saw anything cool that you like, anything I haven't reviewed yet that you want to see me review. I'm sure at some point I will get through them all, but of course I'm adding to the collection all the time. And yeah, so there's my little Switch collection. I've got a lot of cool controllers and stuff I can use on the Switch as well. Let me know if you guys want to see that stuff, and I could do a video on that stuff. Something I really like about the Nintendo Switch is that the flexibility they give you. You can play in dock mode, you can play in handheld, and you can even use like almost in any controller you want to on the thing. And it's just really amazing to have, you know, the best controller for every game that you play. So yeah, hit the like, subscribe as well, hit the bell. Thanks for checking it out, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.